Yes, friends, so let's move on towards our next paragraph of Clayden book. So, up to here, we had already learnt in the previous class, adolescent 1. Up to here, we had already learnt in the previous lecture. Now, in this particular lecture, we will understand the meaning of this particular paragraph. From here till here, we will understand this paragraph's meaning. Okay. So, like all sciences, chemistry has a unique place in our pattern of understanding of the universe. So see, while we understand the formation of universe and constituents of universe, in that particular thing, every subject has a specific role. Okay, so physics is involved in the study of universe, Big Bang theory, solar system formation, formation of Earth, for existence of life on Earth. All these things are related. Okay, so all the disciplines like physics, all the disciplines like physics, like chemistry, okay, like mathematics, biology, all these things are involved in the study of universe. We need the knowledge of all these things in order to study the Big Bang theory and formation of solar system, formation of Earth, formation of moon, why life exists only on Earth and not on other planets. All these things we can understand only with the help of these sciences. So like all the sciences, similar to all the other sciences, chemistry has a unique place in our pattern of understanding of the universe. So chemistry has a unique place. It means that it is studied uniquely. What does it mean by chemistry has a unique place? Chemistry has a unique place simply implies that it is very unique subject. Okay, and in our pattern of understanding of the universe, so understanding of the universe involves that what are the constituents of universe. Okay, what are the constituents? What are the constituents of universe? And what are the ingredients of life on Earth? So all these things can be studied with the help of chemistry, and chemistry has a unique place in our pattern of understanding of the universe. Similarly, physics and maths also have a unique place in our understanding of the universe. Okay, so chemistry is a science of, it is the science of molecules. What does it mean? It means that it helps us understand the chemical nature of molecules. Okay, it is the science of molecules means it helps us understand the chemical nature of molecules. Okay, but organic chemistry is something more. Okay, chemistry is the science of molecules, but organic chemistry is a special case. Organic chemistry is something more. That means that organic chemistry is a special case of chemistry. It is even more significant as compared to chemistry. So organic chemistry is something more. It literally creates itself as it grows. So if you look at organic chemistry, so it it creates itself as it grows. Okay, so for example, a person, a scientist a scientist suppose proposes a mechanism for some reaction. So a mechanism A for some reaction. Now a reaction B whose mechanism is not known. Okay, mechanism of reaction A is known, but mechanism of reaction B is not known. But the scientist, with the, if A and B, the reactions A and B, if they are similar reactions, then with the help of with the help of study of mechanism of A, we can study the mechanism of reaction B. Okay, with the help of study of mechanism of reaction A, we can study the mechanism of reaction B. So these are interrelated. It means that it creates itself as it grows. So we found out the mechanism of reaction A, and reaction B's mechanism was derived from reaction A. Reaction B's mechanism was derived from reaction A's mechanism. So organic chemistry creates itself as it grows. A thing, so of fact A implies fact B. Okay, then fact B implies fact C, then fact C implies fact D, then fact D implies fact E. Okay, then fact E implies fact F. In this way every science progresses in this way, that A will imply B, then B will imply C, C will imply D, D will imply E, and E will imply F. Okay, so that is the thing. So it literally creates itself as it grows. Of course, we need to study the molecules of nature. Of course, we need to study the molecules of nature, both because they are interesting in their own right and because their functions are important to our lives. Okay. So, we need to study the molecules of nature. What are molecules of nature? Those are natural molecules like DNA, RNA. Okay. Examples of molecules of nature are, what are examples of molecule of nature? DNA, RNA, protein, DNA, RNA, proteins. Okay. Hemoglobin, chlorophyll, these are biomolecules. Okay, so we need to study the molecules of nature, both because they are interesting in their own right. Okay? They are interesting in itself. Okay, if you study DNA, if you study RNA, if you study protein, if you study hemoglobin, if you study chlorophyll, if you study vitamin A, if you study vitamin H, if you study vitamin B, if you study vitamin C, and many such things. So because of their functions also, they are important to our life. Because of their functions, like function of vitamin A is to control our vision. Okay, vitamin A actually is responsible for vision. Okay, vitamin A helps in vision of the human eye. So we need to study the molecules of nature, both because they are interesting in their own right. That it means that they are interesting in their own right means they are interesting in itself. They are interesting in itself. So that is called as interesting in their own right. Okay, and because their functions are important to our lives, and their functions are also very much important to our lives. Okay, organic chemistry has always been able to eliminate the mechanisms of life by making new molecules. Now let us understand the meaning of this. Hope you understood the meaning of this statement. Okay, so we need to study the molecules because of two reasons: because they are interesting, and also because their functions are important for our life. Okay, so that's the meaning. Organic chemistry, from here we are studying now. Organic chemistry has always been able to illuminate the mechanisms of life. So because of our study of organic chemistry, we are able to understand the mechanisms of life processes. Okay, mechanisms of various life processes like digestion, neurotransmission, breaking down of sugar, photosynthesis in plants. Photosynthesis in plants is also a biochemical process. Okay, so we need to study the molecules of organic chemistry has always been able to eliminate the mechanisms of life. Okay, and by making new molecules that give information not available for the molecules actually present in living things. So what does it mean? It means that organic chemistry is able to illuminate the mechanisms of life. That is, we come to know the mechanisms of various bioprocesses, and sometimes we also make new molecules. In organic chemistry, sometimes we also make new molecules, and those new molecules give information. Those new molecules give such a information which is not available from the molecules actually present in living things. Okay, so for example, suppose a process A is taking place. A process A, let's say photosynthesis process is taking place. Let's say photosynthesis is taking place in plants. Okay, photosynthesis is taking place in plants, let's suppose. Then what will happen? If photosynthesis is taking place, that is a life process, and it involves natural molecules, biomolecules. Photosynthesis process involves biomolecules. Okay, so photosynthesis process involves biomolecules. Now, if you want to study photosynthesis from the very beginning, okay, and we have understood the mechanism of that photosynthesis process, but we want some more additional information on photosynthesis. We want an additional information on photosynthesis. Then what can we do? We can make new molecules, synthetic molecules. Okay, synthetic organic molecules. We can make them in laboratory, and we can introduce it to the photosynthesis process. And when we introduce that new molecule, newly generated molecule, synthetically generated molecule, when we introduce that new molecule which has been created synthetically by us, when we introduce that new molecule to the photosynthesis system, we get information that is not available in natural molecules, but we get that information with the help of artificial molecules which we have made. So making new molecules give information not available from the molecules actually present in living things. So that is the thing. Organic chemistry can also be can also be studied in this manner. Organic chemistry can also be studied in this manner, that we can introduce synthetic molecules, and those synthetic molecules can tell us the mechanism of photosynthesis. Okay, although that molecule it does not exist in nature, that particular molecule which we introduced in photosynthesis process, that particular molecule does not exist in nature. We synthesized it in the lab, but we introduced it in natural system to understand the natural process. Okay, we introduced that molecule in the natural system to understand the natural process. So that is the thing. So from here till here we have successfully covered our third paragraph. Thank you very much. We will move on towards we will move on from this particular point, this creation. From here onwards, from this creation onwards we will study in the next class. From here onwards we will study in the next class. Thank you very much.